Hey everybody, it's Shakira. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I'm going to be talking to you about how to start a yoga practice. So this is actually a video request, and basically the way you start a yoga practice, well, let's just talk about how I did it, because I kind of did not like yoga much at all. Every time I tried to do it, my mind just wouldn't let me. It was just like, you know, thinking about what I had to do after the practice. And so it's really important to remember that, you know, that's one big thing about yoga. Like, you're not supposed to be worrying about X, Y, and Z. Some people do, you know. You're not supposed to is just like, you know, my opinion and lots of people's opinions. Because when you're on the mat, the idea is that you're concerned about what you're doing. You know, you're 100% aware. But that's hard for some people, because if you are the average American or average person, not even just American, but person that has problems, that has, you know, work, kids, a spouse, and all this stuff, you know, you're more likely to be worried during your practice when you should be practicing and working on yourself. And so what I did, and I didn't know that this was a part of yoga, I started with meditation. I did not know, you know, because I'd never been to an actual yoga class. So I didn't know yoga was about meditation. I just knew about the asanas, warrior and staff and boat pose and blah, 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 blah. And I felt like it was like pump workout. Like, I was just like, man, I don't have time for this. You know, I could be running or lifting weights or something. And so I was never, oh, I got hair coming all out. I was never a avid, you know, yoga practitioner or yogi. Just wasn't until a couple of years ago. And so, but what I did, you know, out seeking, you know, knowledge and truth and stuff like that, I started to learn about meditation. And that was the entryway to yoga, even though I did not know it was. I started to meditate on a daily basis. And most people will go into meditation the same way, like, oh, I can't sit still. You know, most people will be like, just trying to meditate. And you know what I mean? When meditation is about stillness. And so the way that I worked my way up to being able to sit, now I can sit for a period of time and be still. But when I first started, no. So I needed to use the guided meditations on YouTube. Completely free. I would Google meditations for X, Y, and Z, meditation for healing, meditation for blah, blah, blah. And that's what I did. Every day I found a different meditation, or I would do the same meditation over and over again. I also did like hypnosis like meditation. So if you look up Paul Santisi, he has a meditation that I used to put in my ears and go to sleep with to reprogram my subconscious mind, because even when we're sleeping, the body may be at rest, but the mind is still going. So if you're using negative words throughout the day, your subconscious mind or your universe or your, you know, God or Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it, is at work for you, based on the things that you've said and the things that you have been thinking that day and during the course of your life. And so that's where I started, because I had a lot of stuff that I needed to unlearn, which the average person does. And so you want to unlearn things so that you can learn new things. You have to, the way I like to put it when teaching is, you know, we have our computer programming, right? And the programming is bad. So we need to uninstall and then reinstall. Okay? So that's what I did. I did that for like, I mean, religiously for months. You got to do it religiously. You got to do it. I did it every day. I did it every night, and sometimes during the day whenever I needed it. And especially whenever you are going through something, if you're at work, you know, there are meditations on YouTube that are like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you know, just to recenter. You know, if you work at an office and your boss is a jerk or you don't like your coworker, you need to bring it back in, because you can't allow everybody to be stealing your energy, stealing your precious energy from you, you know, when you're going out and about, because you can't avoid these people. You got to go to work. And the same thing, you know, with spouses and kids and stuff like that. So it's really important that at the end of your day to do the meditations, or if you have the time in the morning, you know, you can do them then. That way it reprograms your mind, and it gets you in a space of acceptance and accepting yoga for what it is and what you think it is and what it really is. Because what most people think it is, they think it's a yoga, asana, blah, blah, blah. That's part of it, but that's a small part of it. That's the entryway for most people, if that's what you want to do. You know, some people can go to the mat and still do the practice and continue to come back, even though they're not really focusing on what they're actually doing. So another good thing about the Paul Santisi meditations, and I guess you can call them hypnosis as well, is they do truly reprogram your mind. You go from talking really negative to talking and thinking more positive, because, you know, we all know this, or we've all come across this information in some form or fashion. You are what you think you are. So the moment that you reprogram, like it's called the I Am meditation, I'll link it below. The moment you reprogram and you realize that you are so much more than what you think you are, you know, the veil over your eyes kind of lifts, you know what I'm saying? And you start to become more confident, and you start to seek more, you know, because I don't even listen to that meditation anymore, because I know that I am all of the things that are said in that meditation. But before, when I first started, no, I didn't believe it. Even if I wouldn't say it out loud, you know, the course that my life was taking showed different. So you get into that space through meditation, and through, you know, you have to retreat in this world. You have to retreat because there are so many different things, so many different influences, outside influences that cause us to think certain ways or behave certain ways. And so once you realize your own I amness, your own divineness, and divine being that is inside of each and every one of us, you know, you start to accept, and you start to be ready to you're ready to explore yoga in its entirety. So basically, start with meditations. Do them every day. Just like you got to go to the gym and you got to reps. Repetition is key. So once you start repeating certain things over and over and over again, you'll be more open to you know, other practices, may it be yoga and the other forms of yoga. There's vinyasa, there's yin, there's hatha, like traditional yoga, there's ashtanga, there's so many different practices or names, you know, and it's not always suitable for everybody. So if you're a beginner, I do not recommend you go to vinyasa. You might be okay in yin, but your mind may not be right. So that's why I say get your mind right first, because in yin it's a lot of stillness and lots of wandering in the mind. You know, if you're still, most people are thinking. Whereas if you go to a hatha class, it's kind of in the middle, because you're doing the poses and then, you know, blah, blah, blah. And you have a little meditation depending on who your teacher is. So you also might want to avoid restorative, you know, if you don't have your mind right. Get your mind right first. Get your mind in the game. Then, you know, do a little practice at home. Find some YouTube videos. Start with beginners. Do 15-20 minutes and see how you do. See how you feel, okay? So you start from there. Get your mind right. And then start to figure out what your personal practice looks like. Go to a few classes after you've gotten your mind right, you know, or just an experiment. But my whole concern is when newbies go to classes is that they are discouraged because they either can't do the postures or they don't want to sit still during meditation. So get your mind right first. Do some meditations. Plenty online meditation is a part of yoga. If you meditate, you did your yoga for the day. Okay? So with that said, I think that I answered your question. If you have additional questions, pop them in the comments below. I thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.